This year, we've been working hard at completely renovating the Little Brick House, which is a home that we bought just to renovate and resell. Well, now that house is finally complete, so now we can get back to working on some projects at our home that we live at here in Southern Arizona. We bought this house and started the renovations on it almost 3 years ago now. We completely transformed this house inside and out, turning it into a cozy home for our family. The house is complete, but we still have a running list of projects and little renovations we are hoping to work on over the next couple of months. We've kind of put our house on the back burner this year as we've been focusing all of our time down at the Little Brick House. But now that that's complete, we are excited to get back to working on our house and continue turning this house and property into a home for our family. So for today's video, we'll be tackling the first project on our list, which is to give our storage room a complete makeover. A year and a half ago, we did a little makeover on this storage room and organized it, painted the walls, and Jalen built shelving for either side of the room. Well, now after spending most of this year extremely busy renovating that other house and hauling supplies back and forth, things just started to get stacked in this room, and now it's just a nightmare in here. You can't even hardly walk in the door. It's quite embarrassing to be showing this to you guys, but this is just real life. We've had a crazy year, but that's still no excuse for this room getting this bad. So the first step was to just get everything out of the room. We took everything out of the storage room and put it out on the carport, but as we were taking it out, we were trying to sort through it and put things in different piles. Like one pile was the sell pile, we had a donate pile, a trash pile, and then a pile of things that we were keeping. But as we were emptying things out of this storage room and the piles were growing larger and larger, they all just kind of merged into one giant pile, as you'll see here in a little bit. But there was so much stuff to go through, and this ended up being a huge 3-day project, but it was such a huge transformation. Stay tuned until the end of this video to see the drastic before and afters, because we'll also be painting the ceiling. I'm going to be giving the cabinet and countertop area a complete makeover with paint and new handles. So just stay tuned to see this entire room completely transform. So at our home, we don't have any attic or basement or garage. So this room is pretty much all the storage that we have for items like that. My husband does have a small shop, but that's taken up by the lawnmower, the quad, all of his woodworking tools and wood storage and saws and different things like that, and ladders and everything. And we do also keep some tools down there as well, all of the drills and everything like that. So we're very thankful that this house had this little storage room so that we could store all of those items in here that you would normally store in a garage. We just need to work at keeping it organized and clean, but after this transformation, it's definitely going to be a lot easier to keep it organized and clean just after going through everything and how we have it organized now. We are just working our way from one side of the room to the other, getting everything put out on the carport. we were taking everything off of these shelves on the other side of the room and getting all of this put out on the carport. And you just collect so many things after renovating 2 entire houses. We've got so much leftover paint and tile and stain and just different things and tools that we've collected, but we'll use it all on future projects, so it's really great to have on hand. But it's just crazy how quickly you can accumulate so many things. Now Jalen is working at repairing a few things in the room before we start painting. He had to nail in the sides of those cabinets. They were coming loose a little bit, and now he's trying to patch up the ceiling. Some of the drywall in the ceiling was falling down a little bit, so he got that screwed up there a little bit better. And now he's going to patch up those cracks using all-purpose joint compound. And then once that dries, we can work at painting the ceiling. So this is everything that was in that storage room now stacked out here on the concrete. And we stood back and looked at this pile of stuff and we were like, let's just put a free sign out along the road and just get rid of it all. We did not want to go through all of this. But most all of this we do need, so we just had to go through it, had to get it organized back into this room, and it was worth all of that work for the end result. The room turned out amazing, nice and organized, and just such a satisfying feeling to have this room clean, organized, transformed, and to have gotten rid of so many items. And I do have quite a few things to do in the room before we can start putting everything back in. I have to paint all of the cabinets. Jalen's going to put epoxy on the floors in here. We're going to add new freezers, paint the ceiling. A lot of different things to do in here before we can start filling it back up with all of those items. Before we started any painting in this room, I wanted to sand the entire outside of these cabinets. So I took off all of the doors, put those outside with their hinges and everything, and then Jalen did spray paint those hinges black. I'll put a link for this sander down below. It's a great price and we've had ours for years, used it on a lot of projects, and we really love it. So I'll have that link down below. Once I was done sanding, I did try to fill in some of the holes and cracks and just tried to make this countertop a little bit more level. This wooden countertop was so beat up and very old, but I was going to try and salvage it. This is just a storage room, so we're not trying to make it anything fancy, just trying to make it look a little bit better. So I was trying to get that countertop a little bit more level because I am going to try and put some contact paper on it, as you'll see here in a little bit. So once I did that, I'm going to wash the windows, and then Jalen's going to start painting the ceiling. we realized that we didn't have our paint roller tray anymore, so we had to improvise with a flat box, and then we just put a garbage bag over it, poured the paint right in there, and it worked out perfect. So Jalen's just rolling that ceiling paint onto the ceiling, and this just really helped to brighten up the room. The ceiling did look really bad before because it was like falling down and it really needed to be patched and everything. So just patching the ceiling and painting it all white with the ceiling paint really brightened up the room, and now we're kind of thinking that we might do some new light fixtures in here, but we didn't get that accomplished in this video. This room is completely finished now, but we might still add some light fixtures later on. But like I said earlier, at the end of the day, it's just a storage room, so these light bulbs on either side of the room work just fine for now. Can't tell you an exact color for this paint. It was just a can of leftover paint from when I had mixed up my own paint color on a project. I had about a half a can left over, so I was just using that up on these cabinets and then also the cabinet doors. And I am just painting the exterior of these cabinets. I am not bothering to paint the inside. Once again, like I said earlier, it's just a storage room, and I wasn't going to go to all the work to paint the inside of the cabinets when I'm just going to be stacking them full of paint and stain and everything else. So I just didn't bother painting the inside of them. I am just using a foam roller and a brush to apply this paint to the outside of the cabinets. The foam roller worked out great. I got a really nice finish on the outside of these cabinets, and then the next day I'll be working on painting the cabinet doors. So it's the next morning, and I actually had to put on a coat this morning because it is really starting to feel like fall. It's a little windy and cool and cloudy today, so the perfect weather to be out here working on projects. Last night before we quit for the evening, Jalen did paint the floor in this storage room using that epoxy concrete paint that we had used on the driveway down at the flip house. He had about 3/4 of a can left over, so it was perfect to just quickly paint the floor in the storage room, and it looks 10 times better. That floor looked awful, and we were just going to leave it, but we found that can of the epoxy paint that we had left over, and we just decided, let's go ahead and paint the floor. It looks way better now. So that dried overnight, and now this morning I am going to get started on painting the cabinet doors. So I just need to give them a quick sanding, and then I'll be rolling on that paint that I used on the cabinets, and we can put on the hinges and the handles and hopefully get this storage room finished up today. While I'm waiting for that paint to dry on the cabinet doors, I'm going to start hauling all of these cans of paint and stain and putty and just all the items that need to go down in this cabinet. I'm going to start bringing into here and organizing into the cabinet. I tried to group everything into its category in this cabinet, so I had all of the cans of small paint and then all of the cans of stain, the cans of spray paint. The larger cans I put underneath of the cabinet, and then we've also got things in here like epoxy and paint rollers, just anything that we would need for projects like that. And now that my doors are dry, I can start attaching these back to the cabinets using those hinges that we spray painted. We were able to reuse the hinges by spray painting them. And then I was able to put on new knobs and handles because we found a box full of a couple of different random knobs and handles that were left over from some projects. So we paused here to start bringing some stuff inside because it was starting to rain. And so we were bringing things inside and then also just trying to move things away from the edge of the carport to the middle of the carport so that nothing got wet. The UPS had just dropped off my Amazon order, so I'm getting that unpackaged here. The first thing was some Minwax wood filler because we were out of that. And then I also got these little plastic containers that you can hang on pegboard. So I thought I'd just put these all along the bottom of this pegboard to keep all of those little items. And these seem like good quality and that they're going to work out great. It was a little difficult to put this silver hook up underneath the plastic. You really had to push and wedge to get it up under there. But other than that, they seem like they're going to work out great. And then I did also get this peel and stick wood vinyl film because I thought maybe I could put this on top of this old wooden countertop just to kind of give it that wood look. But later on you'll see I roll this out and I just didn't quite have enough. I thought that I'd ordered enough, but it just wasn't quite enough, so I just end up painting that later on. But I think I still might try to do the peel and stick film later, but we'll see. Okay, so now we're going to add some new chest freezers to the storage room, and these were sent over by Hisense, so a big thank you to them. They're an awesome company. We've collaborated with them several times. We've got a Hisense fridge in our home. We put a Hisense fridge and dishwasher in the flip house, and now we've got 2 of their chest freezers in our storage room. These are their 7 cubic foot chest freezers. We're really excited to have these big chest freezers in the storage room. We've just had that tiny really old chest freezer for years, and so that couldn't hold very much meat. We want to start storing more long-term meat and vegetables and things in the deep freeze. So these are going to be awesome. They seem like really great quality. They do have a 135-hour temp hold, so in a power outage they can keep the temperature below 32 degrees for up to 135 hours in case of emergency. They have a rust-proof inner liner, a movable basket inside. They have LED lighting inside, which is really nice when I come out here in the dark to get meat out of the deep freezer. Our old one didn't have a light inside. And then they also are Energy Star certified. I'll have a link for them down below. They're great chest freezers for a great price, and I want to try to get some freezer organizer bins off of Amazon. I'm not sure what you call them, but I know you can get like big bins to keep in your freezer for storing different types of meat and things like that instead of having everything just stacked up in the deep freezer. So I need to try to find something like that before we completely fill up these freezers. We did already have a few storage bins in the storage room, but I wanted to get more of the clear plastic bins, so I got 6 of these hefty bins from Lowe's. These are really good quality. They should last years and years, and I love that the lids just lock really tight on these. When you put up the handles, they click like 5 times and just lock nice and tight, which is what you want in a storage room where you could get mice and whatever in there. You want them sealed up nice and tight, especially for items like we have our memory bins where we have memory items from when we were little kids, and so you definitely want those to be sealed up nice and tight. And we spent hours just going through everything on the carport and getting rid of stuff and then getting things reorganized back into the storage room. But I just shut the camera off because it would have gotten boring after a while. Like I said, we were out there for hours, so I just didn't bother filming it all, but that did take a really long time. So now we've skipped past getting everything put back into the storage room and going through everything, and now I'm trying to put this peel and stick paper on the countertop, and like I said earlier, I just didn't end up having quite enough. So I just decided I'm going to use up this black paint that I have on hand and just quickly paint this countertop black for the video. I didn't have any more of the peel and stick paper, so I couldn't try to make that work for the video. So just quickly painted it for now, and then maybe later on I can get some more of that peel and stick paper and try to get it to put on top of the countertop. But I actually really like how this painted countertop turned out. It's got a nice finish, and this will just be a great place to work on little projects. Okay, so it's the next day and we still had some items left on the carport that we had to go through and just finish cleaning up everything out there. So we worked on that, and then I am doing the finishing touches here by adding labels to most of the containers on this wall. And this did take quite a while. I didn't bother filming printing out all of these and putting them on the transfer tape and everything. And then I am just getting all of the labels put onto the containers, and then I will show the before and after footage. It is quite the transformation, and we're so glad that this project is finally complete. Okay, so I will give you a quick tour of the storage room before we end this video. So the storage room has 2 doors. We'll go in this door over here on the left. It's so nice to just have everything up off the floor and to actually be able to walk through here. So straight ahead, I just put some of the boys' play items like their baseball bats and scooters, different things like that, and kites, just easily accessible. And then on either side of the room, we have these shelves that go all the way up to the ceiling. Jalen built these last year and they are just so nice to have, to be able to get things up off the floor, have a space to stack things up on. So this side we have all of the storage containers, and I did label all those, which did take quite a while, but it's so nice to have all of these labeled. I have some clear containers, some of these black ones. I've got all of the Christmas items down here, and then my stroller is in this bag, and then we've got some car seats and different things under there. This floor looks so much better as well compared to what it looked like before. And here is the other side of the storage room. Once again, so nice to just be able to walk right through the middle of here without having to step over anything. On this wall we have a pegboard with ratchet straps, bungee cords, extension cords, just all of those items easily accessible right here and right beside the truck if we need ratchet straps to haul anything. And then we've got several of these white shelves up high, this one up here in the middle, one above each of the windows and above the doors. Those are nice to just get things up high and out of the way. We've got the fishing poles up here on this one, and then along this back wall, the cabinets, countertop, pegboard. Down in these lower cabinets is all of our painting items. So I've got the larger paint cans underneath, and then these cabinets down here are just full of all of the painting items, little cans of paint, stain, spackling, putty, spray paint, painter's plastic, glue, just basically all the things that you need for those type of projects. So it is really nice to have all of this storage down here for all of those items. And then this little cabinet is full as well of all of those items that we need for house projects, items for tiling, and then we've got plugins and plug-in covers, switches, all of that is in this black basket, sandpaper, painter's tape, just all of those items. Really nice to be able to just store them away in here. This countertop didn't turn out too bad. It'll be a great spot to work on little projects, but I may still try to cover it in the future. We've got this large pegboard here, which I just have all of the different random things that I can hang up, like paint brushes and safety glasses, paint rollers, and I really like these little containers that I got off of Amazon. I've just got quite a few along the bottom of the pegboard here, and I can just throw in all of those tiny items that always seem to be sitting on the countertop. Now they have a place to go. And then over here, another shelf above the freezers, and then both of those large freezers from Hisense we have right here along this wall. They both fit perfectly in this space, and I'm just so excited to be able to have all of this freezer space so we can get even more meat and vegetables to store long term in here. And then on this side, more of those shelves that Jalen built last year, and just kind of random storage over here on these shelves. And it's nice to have a place like that where you can just stick all of those random items. We've just got the cooler up on the top shelf and items for the vehicles like oil and different things like that. Down on the bottom, this is just full of like house project items. So we've got all of our big buckets of paint, and then all of our extra tile is stacked up back there with different other things that you need for tile, like self-leveling concrete and grout, different things like that. We've got a little step stool. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because we'll be working on more projects here at our home in upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in a couple days with a new video. Bye.